Trifecta Soul out here. Quick video just explaining. I'll be making many videos now, right? Been inspired to help others and to really put myself out there. The way I'm gonna be doing these videos is exactly in this format. Raw, unedited, unfiltered, just me and you, me speaking from the heart. Because especially from my own perspective, I see so much now on social media, the inauthenticity, the almost overproduction, superficial side of things where it gives a very fake and unauthentic vibration or energy from these things, because usually people are only trying to serve themselves and their own desires, and that's not the goal here. We're just making things raw, unfiltered, unedited, so you can get the real side of me, and so I can put something authentic out there, and hopefully you can all resonate with this authentic message. All right, to the video. It's Trifecta Soul, we out here, Trifecta Session in session. Now look, man, just wanted to come out here from some beautiful nature scenes, just have a quick little chat with you all. I want to talk about today, about the importance of taking care of yourself in this modern day reality. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by taking care of yourself? Think like, talking about things to do with your total self, your mind, your body, and most importantly, your soul, right? In these times we're all experiencing, man, they're tough. They're tough if you're not well equipped, you know what I'm saying? Shit's tough out here. Most people are more unhappy than ever, and sad to see. It's sad to see that, you know, losing touch with their spiritual self, losing touch with their soul, getting way too over involved in the physical reality, the matrix reality, right? And I just want to come here and let you guys know, inspire and guide you to, you know, take care of what's actually truly going to make the biggest impact in your own well-being, and that is just taking general care of yourself, right? I see too many people, man, just stuck in the same sort of cycles, and look, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't there as well. You know, back 5 years ago now, 2020, I had my spiritual awakening, and in those times, man, it was so easy to tap in. It was so easy to tap into the spirit realm. But like we said back then, like we knew back then, like we know now, we've been in a spiritual war out here. Spiritual war, there's things at every single corner of our reality to try and take our focus, our attention, our intent away from ourselves and place our attention onto something else. Something that does not serve our souls at all, right? Could be some bullshit you see on social media, celebrities, streamers, you know, next freaking product someone's trying to sell you on the Instagrams or the TikToks. I'll talk about that for a second. You can't even go on Instagram, scroll more than three swipes without seeing something or someone trying to sell you something. And I understand why everyone's trying to do it. It's the world of digital commerce, but you know, it leaves a undesired want within ourselves every time we're on the scroll, right? Every time we're on social media. It's basically just one big advert now. Everyone's just trying to sell you something. It's just like you're just watching a never-ending doom scroll advert with the occasional brain rot meme sprinkled in there. And look, it leads to a world where everyone is lost in superficial inauthenticity. No one is being authentic, speaking from the soul, talking from the heart, right? There's a lot of ill intent out there. People are doing these things simply just to benefit themselves. We've lost touch with the collective consciousness and trying to not just better ourselves, but better those around us, better each other, right? Divide and conquer. That's what they use. That's what they do. Divide us all, male versus female, blacks, whites, right? It's all these ploys and psyops to try and divide us because they know if we stand united, we stand tall, right? I'm gonna take you on a real quick journey of mine. Back when I was speaking about before, and I had my spiritual awakening in 2020, I had a few other mates who were in a very similar situation with me and had a spiritual awakening also. Now, like I said, it was genuinely easier to tap in those times. It wasn't as much bullshit trying to take away from our attention, right? But in saying that as well, there was 4 of us lads, right? And look, obviously fresh out of high school, unemployed, had a lot of time, and that's another thing as well. We did have the time. But what I realized from that time, focusing on ourselves, our health, going to the gym, playing basketball for our own leisurely fun, and also we would do group meditations on the beach together in the sand dunes. And what I noticed in that time is in the 3, 4, 5, whatever so months it was, we were all doing that, man, we all evolved consciously so quickly, rapidly, fucking rapidly. It was almost mind-blowing. And we all collectively knew this, and we would speak about it as well. And we just realized it's because we had 4 people focusing their attention. I don't know what's going on with my hair right now, but we had 4 people focusing on the same intention, right? And the intention was just to raise our vibrations and be better humans, be better for ourselves, right? And because we all had that same intention, we're all focusing our attention on the same thing, it allowed us all to manifest that reality tenfold, right? You got multiple people putting the same attention into the same intent. It's only naturally going to cause the law of attraction to bring what we are seeking closer and attract that into our lives quicker than if it wasn't, right? There's a message in that story, right? United we stand tall, and divided we fall. Some time went by, friends went their own separate way, left the country, moved around, left with one of the lads now. And even then, life just separated us. And man's went through some dark times. I thought spirituality and spiritual awakening was going to be all sunshine and rainbows. And that's what it felt like for the first 6 months to a year. It was nothing but just pure light, pure positivity. I didn't see the other spectrum of it, the dark side of that. And I had to go and lose touch with myself. And they say once you lose touch and you lose the light, the only way you can re-find it is by exploring the darkness within. And that's something that I've had to do for the last few years, looking within the darkness in my soul, the things that do not serve me, that are just stagnant, negative energy that I'm holding on to, right? Deep things, not going to talk about it here, yeah? But these are the questions you need to be asking yourself, especially in times like this. Like, why are you doing the things you do? Why do you have the addictions you have? Why do you self-destruct the way that you do? Right? These are all, I did this shit unconsciously as well. And these are all things I had to ask myself and journal and look deep within to find the answers to. And it wasn't until I actually did that and, took ownership of those situations, went and addressed it with people if it was involved other people, or most importantly, the things that were holding me back within myself that had nothing to do with anyone else, no traumas type shit, just pure mainly addictions, right? And this is one of those things, right, where, like I said before, we're in a spiritual war. There are all these things at every corner to try and take our attentions away from ourselves, so it's put onto something else. If you have an addiction, man, how can you truly be able to be fully engrossed in the present moment and have that energy for yourself if every 30 seconds you're thinking about the next hit of a vape, right? Or in my instance, never being at peace unless I was like trying to suss or be at a sesh, you know what I mean? You can't be having that. We can't be having that in this reality. Now, in 2025, It's only going to get harder. We've got AI coming along, rapidly advancing, right? It's going to be a bunch of AI content, music, videos. Look, celebrities ain't even going to be a thing. Ain't even going to be a thing in the next few years. It's going to be all AI. It's going to be even easier for them to steal your attention and take it away from what truly matters. You, motherfucker. You. Right? Now, you're probably wondering, all right, Trifecta Soul, how do you do that? How do you take care of yourself? How do you nourish yourself, right? Well, obviously, first things, you got to take care of your health. I feel like as a society, we have become more health conscious, which is a beautiful thing to see, right? But in the same time as well, I'm not just talking about, going to the gym and lifting weights for vanity and, trying to achieve a physique so you appear or look a certain way, look more attractive, right? Like obviously, we all want to look good, right? But the intention behind training and taking care of your health shouldn't be to please the ego, right? It should be for your health, right? Your health is your wealth. Without your health, you have nothing, right? You got nothing. So make sure you're on your diet, right? Eat your healthy whole foods. Man, good proteins, good fruits, right? These are all things that are going to nourish your soul. Give it exactly what it needs, right? Training, not just lifting weights. Do your cardio, play a sport. Get out there, socialize with people. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, human connection, like in a world where we're seemingly the most connected we have ever been, most people lack any form of genuine human-to-human connection. It's a sad thing to see, man. It's a very sad thing. That shit will hurt your soul. Because as humans, that's what we crave. We crave that connection, that vibe, that tribe. You know what I mean? And if we don't have that, that's when we start disconnecting from ourselves, disconnecting from the larger collective consciousness at hand. So get out there, talk to people, right? Go step out of your comfort zone, try new things, try a sport if you've been wanting to do that shit. All right, what's our next step, yeah? It's your mindset. That's a big thing, right? How you outlook and overview yourself and life. And look, this is definitely one of the things that I've struggled with personally as well. Like I go through waves. I've gone through roller coasters over the last few years where, I've been very mentally strong, mentally fortified. And I've gone through times where I felt so mentally weak. Felt so weak. And that's just me being honest with you, hey? Like I'm sure many people feel the same, but just aren't brave enough to admit that. And the things we do for that, one of the biggest ones that can help heaps is meditation and self-awareness journaling, yeah? Being self-aware of everything that's going on into your life, right? Can really help identify negativities or things holding you back, or positively, things that you do really well in that you should maybe focus your attention on a little bit more. Not only that as well, we can do things like the sauna, the ice bath, challenging tasks, right, that we don't want to do, right? You don't want to step into a shower, 6 a.m. in the morning, cold shower. Like that's not a very fun thing to do. Anyone will tell you that, yeah. But what that does for your mindset, it's like building calluses. It's like a progressive overload. Same way you progressively overload your weight and reps in the gym is the same way your mind gets progressively overloaded when you do those hard tasks. You're mentally conditioning it, right? And then what I most wanted to sort of speak about today is your soul, right? The mind, body, and the soul, the trifecta. Look, your soul is everything. That is the only thing that you're going to take with you when you die, right? So you've got to be doing things to nourish your soul. You can't just have matrix goals that serve the ego. And these are necessary, Times are tough, the economy's rough. We're all just trying to make our way in this world and live a peaceful life, right? It's harder for some than others. but I am one of the more fortunate ones and truly grateful for the life that I get to live. And I'm always going to express and be in a state of gratitude and appreciation that I get to wake up and live my life the way I do every single day, the way I do. But I'm talking to you people that are still out there working the 9-to-5 loop, out there in the concrete jungle of them cities, or you're just slaving away on some manual labor job or in some trade or up north in the mines, anything like that, yeah, each to their own, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do to make your bread. But it doesn't excuse you from still not taking the time to put some energy and effort into yourself. I don't care if you have a massive day. You need to get out there and you need to get yourself in some nature. You need to do your meditations. You need to do your journaling, right? You don't need to do it for a long time. You just need to take the time for yourself to put your energy and your focus in the present moment and align with your higher self. Because there's too many people, friends and family I see, and even in my own, sleep cycles or when I am less conscious, I notice I'm lacking, what's the word here? Lost it. I was in a good flow state just then, but our minds are never present. Try and get out of this wind real quick. Our minds are never present in that state. We're always too focused on what is to come, what's coming next, right? We may be doing a task like, having lunch, eating lunch, right? But while we're eating the lunch, we're too busy focusing on what we got to do in an hour or 2 hours time. Got to get back to that email. Got to pick the kids up from school, right? These are all tasks, and these are all tasks that are going to get done, right? You're still going to do these tasks. So take your attention away from it when you're here and it's over there and bring it back to right here, because you're still going to do those tasks, right? But you owe yourself the time and the effort and the energy to put back into yourself. Get yourself out here, you know what I mean? Get out on the ground, get out into some nature. I can't even flip this thing around. Out here, do some grounding. Where's my feet gone? There they're at. Do some grounding, get barefoot on grass or in nature. That shit will heal your soul on an energetic frequency level, right? Meditate, eat healthy, get some sunshine, right? Do some exercise. And when you do these things, try and focus your attention on being as present as you possibly can. Be so locked in to whatever you are doing. Don't worry about what is to come. If you're out here taking a walk in nature, look at the trees, look at the birds. Feel the sensation of your toes touching the grass, right? You'll be so surprised how much wonders this will do for your overall mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. Look, man, don't really have too much else to say now. This is the first of many videos I'm going to be making for yous. Look, I've fallen out of my purpose for the last few years, and the fire's been relit inside of me, stronger than ever now. And this is what I do. Like, if I can do one thing in this lifetime, I don't care about how much money I make, cars I drive, what I achieve in this matrix world. If I can help you, even just one person, improve their mind, body, and souls, especially their souls, and elevate their consciousness or inspire you to do that for yourself, then I've won. And you can't take that away from me. And that's exactly what I'm talking about as well. I have been talking about through this whole video. I'm going to leave it there now. Appreciate you watching. Trifecta out.